Hey, welcome to another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. Today I am doing a little bit of prep for some upcoming trips and some adventures. And one of the things that I get worried about in the springtime and summertime is bugs. I don't know what you do to control for bugs, but I'm going to tell you what I do and tell you a little bit about exactly how to do it without hurting yourself. So what I do to control for bugs in the summertime is I treat my clothing with permethrin. Now there's a lot of research out there about permethrin. There was a long-term study done on veterans where their clothes had been impregnated with permethrin and they had no different incidence of neurological disease than the general population. So it seems relatively harmless if used properly. The problem would be is in how you apply the permethrin to your clothing, and research shows that permethrin actually is toxic for human beings, and it is being studied right now in relationship to Parkinson's disease. So I think that how you apply it is the difference, and I'll tell you what the instructions are to apply the permethrin. So there are two different types of permethrin that I use. The first one comes in a little Sawyer packet wrapped like this from Amazon. You take it out of the packet and get a little bottle like this. And you know, I mentioned first the risk of like Parkinson's if you apply it wrong. Well, the risk of not treating your clothing or doing anything for bugs, and I think it's reasonable to say this out loud. You know, you got Zika virus out there, West Nile virus, yellow fever, and then Lyme disease from ticks. And that is what permethrin is going to target when you're in the back country, when you're camping. The other type of permethrin that I use is a little bit different. This is a higher concentration, and I dilute this down. This comes in a 10% concentration, and you dilute it down, and I would recommend that you dilute it down to very close to the one that comes from Sawyer, which is 0.5%. So this is 10%, so it's obviously 20 times more concentrated, and you need to dilute it down with water as you spray it onto your equipment. So when you do apply the permethrin, I put on this controlled concentration from Sawyer on my clothing. It's next to my body. I may spray this on my equipment that is not going to touch my body, and that specifically would be my rooftop tent. That's what I would spray on my rooftop tent. So when you go to apply permethrin to your clothing, there's a few things that you need, because the problem in applying permethrin or being around permethrin isn't the dried concentrate on your clothing, it is the wet. The wet permethrin can penetrate your skin. Of course, if it gets into your nasal passages and your mucosa or your lungs, it could get in. You don't want to breathe it in, so wear a mask. Put some gloves on your hand in case it drips through the little nozzle. Whenever you do those little spray nozzles, you know, it always leaks out on your hand, so just put it on, put some gloves on. And I'd recommend putting a long sleeve shirt and some long pants on. Don't be putting this on in shorts where it's going to go through your skin when it's wet. I'm letting my clothes just dry for a few moments in the sun right now. And those 3 outfits will be ready to go for a bug-ridden summer. One less obstacle to getting outside in the backcountry in the summer. So the channel I am running in the background today is Fry's on the Side. You might want to take a look at that channel. A pretty cool guy and a pretty good channel. He and his family enjoy getting out in the backcountry as well. It doesn't take very long to apply permethrin to your clothing in a safe way. Just put your gloves on, put a little mask on, put a long sleeve shirt on, let them dry in the sun, and then handle them safely after they've dried in the sun, and you are good to go for keeping bugs off you this summer. Gives you a little bit less risk of getting bug bitten in the backcountry and encountering Lyme disease, Zika virus, yellow fever, West Nile virus. All those things are out there, and you have to balance that with the risk of exposure in treating your clothing to permethrin, which is, again, a neurotoxin, but when handled properly, you reduce that risk, and the risk is very minimal once it's dried on your clothing. So hope you got something out of this video, and hope you come back for some more episodes of Eric's Camping Adventures.